Funny man Steve Martin has got to be one of the most talented stars in Hollywood. From humble beginnings as a stand-up comedian, he's gone on to become a super successful actor, writer and musician. Steve got his first taste of performing while working at Disneyland in his teens, honing his skills as a juggler, tap dancer, balloon artist and magician. From there, he went on to study philosophy at college. But his love for making people laugh won out, and he soon began writing for TV shows like The Sonny and Cher Hour. Tired of writing gags for other people, he began performing stand-up comedy in nightclubs around California. With helmet hair and wearing his trademark white suit, his straight guy look combined with absurdist, wacky antics stood out in a time when routines were sharp, angry and political. His popularity soared, and by the late 70s, he became the first comedian to achieve rock star status, playing to arenas of 20,000 people and appearing on The Tonight Show and Saturday Night Live. Adding to his success, Steve launched his film career with The Jerk. It was a box office smash. His character, Navin Johnson, the adopted son of a poor black family who goes off into the world to make his fortune, is still a fan favourite. In 1981, Steve quit stand-up to focus on film, starring in classics like Parenthood, The Three Amigos, All of Me, Roxanne, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. One of the reasons Steve has been so successful is because his comedy appeals to both kids and adults.
I try to land right in between the two, between children and adults, because you don't want to make it, I don't want to do kids' movies. I want to do movies that kids can like, but that the parents can really, not parents, adults can really enjoy too. I'm hoping that adults will sit at home or go to the movies and watch the movie and really enjoy it because it's clever. And I think clever really works for kids and adults.
Steve's dream run continued into the 90s with successful films like My Blue Heaven and Father of the Bride. And he was thrilled to get the opportunity to collaborate with funny girl Goldie Hawn on House Sitter and Out of Towners.
I think we appreciate each other's funniness and bring out the best of our funniness in each other too. It's like playing tennis with Woody Allen. No.
Steve is very, very smart.
Thank you.
You'll pay me later. He's very, very smart. So you take that with someone who has a real connection to the abandonment and freedom that a child has. And that combination is kind of a magical one, because Steve never seems to go too far, but he always allows that child in us that makes us love to laugh and do crazy and funny things that are uninhibited and uncensored. And Steve is able to do that.
Steve Martin is well known for playing the lovable dad in family movies like Cheaper by the Dozen, a film that gave him the opportunity to do the sight gags and wacky jokes that he loves.
There's a lot of big physical comedy in the movie. The director likes to think of it as emulating Parenthood, but I like to think of it as Home Alone. You know, I've had so many things on this movie where I've been hooked to harnesses and pulled across the floor and flown through the air, and I really like that. It's so much easier than learning lines, for one thing. And I like the safety aspect, you know, and I like, you know, taking these falls and running across the lawn. It's kind of like being an action hero, only there's no hero aspect.
Despite the fact Steve regularly plays a father, he's never actually had any children. But this hasn't stopped him relating to his younger co-stars on set.
He's great. He's so cool. From the minute I met him, he was so friendly, and then even on set, he loosened up. Like, he's so nice and so cool, and we always like joke around on set. And he was actually just in there playing basketball with all the kids, so he's really cool.
Keen to stretch his skills, in the 90s, Steve moved into drama with Grand Canyon and The Spanish Prisoner. He was also busy writing, with his screenplays for LA Story and Bowfinger made into films. Steve wasn't just writing screenplays. The New Yorker began publishing some of his essays, and he wrote his first full-length play, Picasso at the Le Pont Agile. His novel, Shop Girl, hit the bestsellers list and was later developed into a film. Since then, he's published 2 more novels, The Pleasure of My Company, and An Object of Beauty, as well as the memoir Born Standing Up. Is there anything Steve Martin can't do? Back to the big screen. When he was initially offered the role of Inspector Clouseau in the remake of The Pink Panther, Steve was reluctant to say yes. He'd been such a fan of the original Peter Sellers film that he couldn't commit to the project until he'd nailed the accent and worked with the director on some of the jokes in the film.
I kind of like playing his arrogance when he puts his nose in the air and he's very, very confident, and I don't know, there's something about that appeals to me because I don't have a lot of that of myself.
Even though Steve was a huge fan of the original, he felt it was important to reinvent the character to suit today's humour, but at the same time that it was very important to retain the physicality of the role.
If you ask a painter, say, paint it like you did 20 years ago, they can't do it. And I've gone through many transitions. First of all, slapstick, we'll call it slapstick. I don't think it's the right word. We'll call it physical comedy because slapstick to me was low and it was just like beating someone and hitting him in the face with a pie. I tend to think that we're a little bit more elegant, we're a little more graceful than that. But even when I did stand-up comedy, which was considered outrageous, it was very physical. It was a completely physical act, and I've always been known as a physical comedian in America. So this is no transition. This is what I've always done.
The remake was a box office hit, and Steve had so much fun playing Clouseau that he jumped at the chance to play him again in The Pink Panther 2.
I love playing the role, so I'm happy to do sequels to this movie. And you know, each time you learn more about what works and what doesn't. So, and it's enjoyable. It's a very friendly shoot. We've always had friendly, nice people on the set, and so it's very enjoyable.
In recent years, Martin has pulled back from films, instead focusing on his writing and music. Since his album The Crow became a huge success, going on to win a Grammy, Steve has been busy touring with the Steep Canyon Rangers Band and has released a second album, Rare Bird Alert. He's kept his foot in film with smaller roles, like the hippie guru in Baby Mama, where his hilarity stole the show.
I had the pleasure of working with Steve Martin on this film, and also when he hosted Saturday Night Live, and I was and continue to be very nervous around him because he is one of my idols. So I am looking forward to the day when I'm not nervous around him, and I'm getting nervous just talking about him. But until that day, I will continue to be nervous. That being said, I mean, you know, what do you say about, I mean, I just kind of stand around him and laugh really loud, too loud, and laugh when he's being serious, and he's just amazing.
It's pretty easy to sum up Steve Martin as that crazy guy who does silly things to make us laugh. But there is so much more to him than that. A successful actor, writer, and musician, he's a highly intelligent overachiever who seems to succeed at anything he puts his mind to. Stay tuned to Star Picks for all of the movies you know and the actors you love, broadcasting glorious high definition with 5.1 surround sound where available. For more of the best in entertainment news, check out your Movie Network channels. It's altogether better, on screen and at mnc.tv.